Is anybody there? Hopefully. Let's just have a quick look. Okay, we've got maybe a couple of people. Sorry about the bath. It's taken me 20 minutes to sort out what's going on with my laptop, which is really annoying. People. Sorry about the. Yeah, let's see. I don't want to. As I mentioned on Twitter, if you saw my message on Twitter, then I'm here to do this really quickly today because I haven't got a lot of time. So the goal, I'm not going to do my usual preamble. There's not much time for chat. If you got anything that you want to talk about, feel free to pop it in the chat. Let me know how your week's going, all of that thing. But the main thing right now is we're going to get into this testing of API, SDK, Saloon thing, right? So let's get a new browser up. I want to go through the docs of Saloon testing because I haven't really looked at this yet. So just for clarity, what have we done? We've got app. Where is it? Come on, jump out at me. Trello service. It's not this one anymore, is it? No, it's HTTP. Integrations, that's where it is. This class can disappear eventually. I'm keeping it around because it's got an implementation here for one of the endpoints that I want to use, but it's not this one. That's going to become its own request class. So we've got a Trello connector, and we've got the create payment request, and what is it that I want to do, really? I think the thing that I want to do is to make sure that my API client can handle the expected data that comes from this API. So I don't want to test their API. I don't want to call endpoints to actually test their API because I don't own that. I want to make sure that the behavior of my system is as expected when known quantities from their end are injected into that system. So I want to basically have these kind of fixtures of what the data coming back from their endpoints is going to be like, and then just kind of monitor how my application behaves in response to that. So then I could basically mock out all of the different kinds of responses that I might get from them or that I will get from them, and know that my system can handle it as it changes over time, right? So hopefully that's really obvious now for what we're trying to do. And then here, so it's basically figuring out how do we do that. Saloon makes it easy to fake API integrations in your tests. In your tests, you'll need to create an instance of mock client. Great. Well, kind of great. Let's see. The mock client accepts an array of mock responses, which, when used on a request, will respond with a fake response without sending a real request to the web. Cool. This helps speed up tests and can help test your application for different scenarios. Yep. So, mock client, mock response. And if we're using Laravel, there's a whole Okay, so basically we put the mock client tool into our connector. We say with mock client, but then they're saying in Laravel, instead of using with mock client, we can use the saloon fake, which will handle it for us. So I guess we could have a look at what that's doing. What is it? Laravel saloon, 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 saloon. Laravel source saloon and fake. Mock client resolve, start mocking. So it's not doing anything too crazy. I think there's a bit that's missing there for me about how it's actually swapping that out, or it's just saying, oh, we're mocking, so there's a different code path, which maybe it's not worth digging too much into that at this stage, but it seems reasonable how it's doing it. It seems like a tried and true pattern. So I think I'm happy with the way that it's approaching that. And so I just tell it the responses that I'm expecting to get using the fake client. Okay, well, I'm not going to read all of the docs first before doing stuff, because I like to learn by doing and making lots of mistakes. But I will read through all of the docs because, Aaron Francis told everybody to. So we must do what he says. I'm not joking. It's not tongue-in-cheek. That's genuine. We must do what he says. Okay. So tests. That's where I want to be. I want to create a test. These are a lot of tests. I am going to create a new. How do I create a new pest test? Is it vendor bin pest new, something like that? Pest. No, maybe it's not. PHP artisan make test name, and yeah, I can call it that. So I want it to be PHP artisan make test. It's going to be a Trello SDK test, and we're making it a pest one. Trello SDK test created. Cool. Right, and then the first thing that I want to do is, I want to check that sending the request sends with the required, maybe just with one of these variables. So I can basically set that. Do I need to do that? Is that just testing the behavior of saloon that should already be tested? Do I need to test that? What I want to test this create payment class, basically. I just want to make sure that it can handle the data coming from outside. I don't really care about saloon's behavior. I just want to make sure that this is going to do what it needs to do. The only way that I can do that is by creating a new one of these and passing it the data. So we're going to go with ripping out some of this code and expecting it to do something. So let's put that there. Grab this block response. I don't know what the multiple responses are about necessarily. Response. Oh, that was from before. That's not what I want. And then I want my connector. So Trello equals new Trello connector. I think I just call it Trello. Hello. Ah, come on, PHP Storm. What are you doing to me? It's that one. Right. Why can't you figure out how to do that bit in one go? Right, now my Trello connector requires some startup stuff. So I actually don't want to do it like just newing it up. I want to resolve it out of the container. And then I want to Trello send create payment. So this should look something like our actual implementation, which is in, great question, got to try and remember, did we do it in Livewire? No, I haven't. That was the first bit, so it must be in a controller, payment controller. Yeah, send payment, get response. So we should probably capture the response in the same way, and then we expect the response to be one of our response types. Whatever, yeah, one of these mock responses. So let's see. I can see there's a few more of you. Hello. Feel free to chime in on the chat. Right, let's think. Come on, brain, get into gear. Create payment is missing some stuff. Yeah, so that's where we need to come up with our merchant ID. Yeah, let's just rip some of that stuff straight from the controller. No, let's use good old prompting to do that. This is fine. Oh, sorry about the noise. The noise. Dog is a bit crazy today. Tidy this up as we go. And what can we do here? Let's just read on a little bit more. Right, we send our request. We will look at responses properly in a minute. I want to, set an expectation. Here we go. We can assert that something was sent. Good. So that means actually I could put a test together that makes sure that a certain integrated part of the system sends an API request without it actually sending an API request. So this is probably more like we set up our fake and we don't need to do this stuff. Like this is explicitly testing the class that is under test, which is fine, but that's going to happen as a side effect of something else. So it could, for example, be this get, no, sorry, it's not get, it's a post some data to our payment endpoint, right? What is it called? We've got pay and then a merchant ID. So okay, it's starting to get already complicated because we need a merchant ID, but we'll create one of those. Do I have a factory for that? Yes, teams. So we can do team. Come on, PHP Storm. Team. Honestly, that's very annoying. So this, just do it by default. Team factory. We can create, and then we'll do team. We need to fix that up. That needs to be better than that. We don't want IDs, but then we can just do example. Example.com. This shouldn't send anything anywhere. Say that. It may try. If we don't, where was our other test? If we don't bus fake, because that's gonna, in fact, it's gonna do a whole bunch of things, so we need all of those. Import. It would be so great if there was a way to import all. That's complicated because of this. Fine. It's also a little bit like, it might be quite nice in Laravel if there was a fake all of the things, so I could just write I don't know, what are they? Core services fake, like that, and or you could say which ones to fake. Mail, bus, something like that. Service faker. I don't know. That is not any more or less. It's just one line of code instead of 7. So create a factory, post a payment, and then this is what's kind of running in the background, so we don't actually need that. And I just want to know that to use one, you can simply call the method on your mock client. So forge send. Where's mock client coming from? Here. This page is kind of tricky because it's okay. This is a built-in global mock client. So can I do saloon assert? Yeah, okay. It's not super clear. I feel like this page could do with being split. So if you're doing Laravel, there's like maybe another page for Laravel documentation of testing, because it's kind of different. If you get down to the expectations, you're not using some mock client, you can just use that saloon helper directly. So, okay, anyway, So we go assert sent, and then we can say the kind of request. What's the kind of request is create payment class. It's that one. I'm going to just drop that out for a second. Right. Well, let's run it. So we give it a name, test that payment API call is made. This is, yeah, maybe even the name of the test here is wrong. Not that specific test, I mean the test group, this test file. Because we're not really testing the SDK here, we're testing the integration of the SDK into our application. But this is what I want to test. Maybe that actually does sit in a payment test more so. So these are kind of integration tests for different things, right? These are integration tests for, you know, whether it's dispatching a job or whether it's dispatching a notification, blah blah blah. So and the state machine stuff, this feels like the place that I should be writing this test, really, because yeah, then it probably sits in one of those other tests. It's fine. We'll keep it separate for now, just because it's somewhat easier. It's like I can just run that one test in isolation. Interesting. Failed asserting false as true. It's saying that it didn't. The mock didn't receive. Because this is the wrong endpoint. I mean, that should have 404'd on that, because that's just the wrong place altogether. But weird that it didn't come back with a different error. Maybe it's not weird. The item potency key field is required. And that's because I didn't give one to my team. This is where actually it being part of this other test class would have made sense, because I've already done all of this. No, item potency key. No, that's something that has to come in here, and this is just, I'm missing it because it's a header for this request. It's completely different context. Oh, what did I call it? It wasn't X, it was just item potency key. No, I don't want the debugger. Right, there we go, passed. So that's a good test to have, because it's actually tested quite a few things already. We've tested that Saloon is being used, and that it's this create payment class that we've created is connected to our API pay endpoint, and it's testing that it kind of handles these bits of data well. So we could like change this fixture, and hopefully it's going to tell us that there's some. Where's the thing? Where's the button? Oh, this is the wrong one. It's going to tell us that it's missing some data. Yeah, great. So this is already super tidy. If we throw something new in here, I wonder what that that's going to say. Yeah, okay, that's passed, but it's just ignored, so that it should just be ignored, right? So yeah, maybe that should be an app payment test group overall. I don't know. This is the thing with testing for me. It's like it's not always super obvious where your tests should live. Like especially integrations, so like feature tests like this where they're touching multiple parts of the system. But that's maybe just me and my poor experience with writing tests and thinking about tests and not having done enough of that. I'm going to get rid of this. But I think, I said it was going to be a short one. It's actually ended up being about 25 minutes already. I've really only got that time. And I think we've done what we wanted to do initially, which is just to make sure that we're familiar with Saloon's testing framework, kind of mechanics, and we've got some of that. We haven't explored the mock response yet. This is clearly not the response that I am expecting to get back from Trello for this. So I would like to set a mock response of a certain way and test that I can handle those mock responses. I'm going to leave this here for now. I'm just removing it temporarily because I want to test something out. Oh no, it does need some responses, but does it actually need one, or is it going to accept the fact that there aren't any? Okay, that's interesting and good. So you need to have at least one response set up in your fake. Nice. I'm happy enough with that to say this is the end for today. I know it's not been a very long one, and I'm kind of frustrated that it didn't get off to a great start, but it's okay. We came to do this, we've done this, so we did what we came to do, and that's it. Job done. Perfect. That's what we want in a short stint. Get in, get done, get out. So thanks for coming along and joining for that. I hope it was useful for you. Have a great weekend, and we'll go into more detail on more of this next week. So yeah, have fun. Bye for now.